Qin Wushuang quickly recounted to Chen Yuan, her voice filled with resentment. That's right, he even said that I would get sick no matter what. No wonder he is so confident. It turns out this scum dares to play tricks behind my back. It's really disgusting. It's a shame my grandfather trusts him so much. Quickly help me get the poison needle out. Chen Yuan replied, his expression still cold. If you want it out, then you need to take off your clothes first. The poison needle is not easy to handle as you think. As soon as he finished speaking, Qin Wushuang's face turned bright red, her heart racing, and she stammered, unable to find her words. Ah, what did you just say? Is this really necessary? After that, she struggled internally, not knowing how to react to this request. Chen Yuan maintained his emotionless expression and sternly reminded her, this is not a joke. The poison needle is stuck in your body. If we don't take it out soon, the consequences will be severe. Don't worry, I'm not someone who acts recklessly. Besides, isn't Yihan also here? After listening, Qin Wushuang's face turned red, as if she had just had a pot of hot water poured over her head. She rushed into the restroom while bouncing like a shrimp, do you know? Normally, when a doctor wants to examine a female patient, there must be a female nurse present to ensure both reputation and that the patient doesn't feel awkward. And you, why did you bring someone else in here? Do you think you're a great doctor? But even as she said this, Qin Wushuang's mind was in turmoil. It's because Yihan is here that I can't act freely. Who would want to put on a show in front of others? At this moment, Yihan also spoke up, his tone equally annoyed. That person named Sha Yun is truly beyond description in his wickedness. To flaunt himself as a divine healer, he's willing to harm others to draw attention, such a shameless and despicable person. Tranvian interjected, maintaining a calm demeanor. Shi Yun came down from the mountain, and as soon as he entered Ma Duo, he established connections with the Qin and Wei families. Moreover, he took advantage of the opportunity to showcase a high-level medical technique in front of the elite of high society. And those wealthy individuals all value their lives. When they encounter a divine healer as good as rumored, of course, they are willing to open their wallets to make friends. Upon hearing this, Yihan began to analyze the entire situation with his sharp reasoning. If it were a natural illness, how could one recover completely in just a few short minutes, leaving no traces whatsoever? But if Shi Yun was the one who caused it, everything becomes extremely reasonable. Killing two birds with one stone, he showcases his talent while putting others in his debt. Chen Yuan also responded seriously. I thought about exposing him right at that moment, but think about it. If I did that, wouldn't he just turn around and say that I was jealous of his talent? At that point, everyone at the table would think I'm petty, and Mr. Wei would be grateful to him. Who would stand by my side then? At that moment, Qin Wushuan walked out of the bathroom and interrupted, hugging her chest tightly, her face flushed. Enough. Yihan, Chen Yuan, both of you stop talking. Quickly get that pin out for me, I'm still not dressed. It was really awkward. As soon as she finished speaking, her feelings were hard to describe, no different from a little white rabbit waiting to be eaten by a wolf. Adding to that, Yihan's gaze made her flustered. She kept holding her chest as if trying to hide her extreme embarrassment. Chen Yuan began to check Qin Wushuang's abdomen. Without saying a word, his index finger pressed lightly against her skin. But this seemingly simple action made Qin Wushuang scream as if someone had pinched her. Ah, that hurts. Chen Yuan asked, his tone still cold. Is it here? Qin Wushuang bit her lip, her face contorted. Yes, at first I didn't feel any pain, but as soon as you pressed it, it hurt like hell. Chen Yuan frowned and coldly analyzed. It was a timely discovery. If it had been left for a few more days, this poisonous needle would have pierced straight into your kidney. At that point, kidney failure would make it hard for the hospital to save you. Not to mention that even if you could be treated, it would still leave long-term complications. Removing this needle may be a bit painful, so try to bear with it. At this moment, Qin Wushuang's face was as red as a gourd, not from anger, but from embarrassment. She was in a compromising situation while Chen Yuan kept talking endlessly, and Yihan was staring at her beside him. It took great effort for Qin Wushuang to finally utter a word. Okay. The process of removing the needle lasted a tense 5 minutes, but for Qin Wushuang, it felt like an eternity. She was in so much pain that sweat poured down her forehead, while her teeth were clenched as if she wanted to crush something in frustration. Meanwhile, Chen Yuan was highly focused, every movement of his meticulous like that of a world-class surgeon. This poisonous needle was indeed rare, tiny, soft, and made of a special material that even modern machines might struggle to detect. The peculiar properties made the extraction an intensely nerve-wracking procedure, even though it was done by hand. Finally, after tireless efforts, Chen Yuan managed to retrieve the needle. All right, got it. But before he could take a glance from top to bottom, Yihan quickly stepped over, covering Qin Wu Shuang with a cloth while reminding her gently, Chen Yuan, stop looking. Sister Wu Shuang, put your clothes on quickly or you'll catch a cold now. This concern made Chen Yuan feel a bit uneasy, standing silently to the side, which made the atmosphere awkward. However, Qin Wu Shuang didn't think so, feeling a bit regretful. At first, I thought he would pull me into the room to do that, right? If it weren't for Ye Han, would he have been unable to resist kissing me after finishing the treatment? Or perhaps even more, just thinking about it makes me want to melt away. But it's alright, there's still plenty of time. The one I love is him, and I believe that one day he won't be able to resist my charm. But wait, Ye Han is indeed a master of ruining the moment. On top of that, he shot Chen Yuan a warning look as if he were her personal property. Ha! This shameless person always likes to get in between me and Shen Yuan, just like seeing an ad without a skip button. But to be fair, that look from Shen Yuan earlier, oh my, it was a mix of shyness, curiosity, and like he wanted to tear my shirt off to get a better look. Watching it made my heart race, pounding as if it wanted to burst out of my chest. He definitely has feelings for me too, he just hides it really well. After the tense moment, the three of them, Shen Yuan, Ye Han, and Qin Wu Shuang, returned to the banquet room. Qin Wu Shuang tried to maintain her composure, but her flushed cheeks betrayed her completely. Chen Yuan still kept his familiar cold demeanor, but the Simon sisters were still glued to the peephole, eagerly listening in without missing a second. Simon Ding Ding whispered, her voice full of excitement, Sis, look, Lim Yong Wong, Ye Han, and Qin Wu Shuang just came out of the room together. That was quick, right? It's not even been 20 minutes. Simon and Anna listened in astonishment and murmured thoughtfully, 20 minutes is quite a long time. The last time I met that Yixang guy, he took only 1 minute. At this moment, the auditorium is lively and vibrant. People are incessantly discussing, their eyes fixed on Park Jung-jae with endless admiration. One girl exclaimed, oh my gosh, is this really the Samsung Prince Park Jung-jae? He's so incredibly handsome. Another girl chimed in, her voice filled with astonishment. Not only is he handsome, but he's talented too. This guy is Korean and his calligraphy is outstanding. Look, is there anyone else in this entire auditorium who can write as beautifully as he can? Upon hearing this, the people around nodded in appreciation, adding, Samsung in South Korea is like the king in every field. From technology, finance, science, and engineering to the military, is there any sector they haven't dabbled in? And yet, the Samsung prince is not only rich but also humble and educated, truly a shining pearl amidst the sands. While everyone continues their lively discussions, Park Jung-jae stands in the center of the auditorium, a self-satisfied expression on his face. Finally, I have the opportunity to shine without anyone interrupting. This is indeed a top-notch boast. But where is Shen Yuan? If he were here, he would surely extinguish this display of mine in no time. But the joy didn't last long when Sha Yun emerged, slowly speaking. I don't mean to hide it. I also know a bit about calligraphy and would like to discuss it with young Master Park if that's okay. Shi Yun's words were like a drop of water that exploded in the room. Everyone around gasped, and a few nearly dropped their glasses. Huh, this person just saved someone and now wants to claim the title of calligraphy expert too? Isn't that a bit greedy? Park Jung-jae stood still for a few seconds before turning to Shi Yun with a look of contempt. You know calligraphy too? At that moment, Park Jung-jae's heart was in turmoil. Is this person joking with me? Can someone from a desolate wilderness like you compare to this Prince of Samsung? With immense confidence, Sha Yun replied loudly to Park Jung-jae's disdain, do you think you are the only one skilled in calligraphy? In this land of China, there are as many calligraphers as fallen leaves in autumn. Although I've only learned the basics, defeating you wouldn't be difficult at all. As soon as the words ended, Park Jung-jae's face darkened to the point it seemed he would burst into tears. This guy not only wants to gain fame through medicine, but now intends to invade the field of calligraphy too. Dream on. Don't even think about taking this glory from me. Without giving anyone a chance to react, Sha Yun leisurely stepped forward, holding a brush dipped in ink. His demeanor radiated a strong and intense aura. In an instant, he began writing the poem An Jiang Hong with incredible passion. 30 years of fame like dust, 8,000 miles roaming under the clouds and moon. Do not live a mundane life, youth passes quickly. Do not lament or blame fate. Wait for a day, reclaim the land, lift your face to the sky, and smile defiantly. 30 years in the east, 30 years in the west, do not scorn a poor youth. Shi Yun's powerful recitation of the poem made everyone around feel as if the strong energy emanated from each word. The verses flowed like a mighty current, sweeping away all doubts, while his brushstrokes etched vibrant, graceful lines onto the paper, full of life, yet conveying an unbreakable strength. The crowd around him looked on in awe at his calligraphy. My goodness, not only is it beautiful, but it also seems to possess a soul within it. Each character infused with the spirit of the man is a great man. From this brushwork, I sense a resilient and heroic will. This was not ordinary skill. This was the level of a master calligrapher. Only true masters can infuse such spirit and momentum into every stroke like this. I, someone who has pursued calligraphy for many years, felt inferior. Beside her, Mr. Y nodded in agreement, his voice full of emotion. That's right, Mr. Shi Yun is truly extraordinary, deserving of being a disciple of Mr. Bai Chen. At such a young age, his calligraphy has reached this level. I feel ashamed in comparison, but no one is as enthusiastic as Y Xiling. She had always had a good impression of Sha Yun before, and now she was even more generous with her praise. Grandpa, Sha Yun is really amazing. He looks 1,000 times better than that Lim Yum Wong guy. It's fantastic. His calligraphy and medicine are both top-notch, and at such a young age, his career development is truly immeasurable. Y Xiling became more and more animated, mercilessly putting down Chen Yuan. I hate those who rely on money to show off like Lim Yum Wong. He flirts with the young lady from the Yi family, then chases after the young lady from the Qin family, while not forgetting to tease the twins. He's exactly the kind of lowly playboy. In contrast, Sha Yun is both simple and unpretentious, but when needed, he stands up like a hero, even putting the Samsung prince in his place. Someone like him truly deserves to be the idol of my heart. Park Jung-jae's face was contorted as if he had just been slapped hard. He wanted to bang his head in frustration. Where did this bastard come from? How could he be so strong? At first, I intended to use calligraphy to assert myself, since I had thoroughly investigated that Chen Yuan had no knowledge of calligraphy. But life has its surprises. Chen Yuan didn't show up, and out of nowhere, a Sha Yun jumped in to disrupt everything. How infuriating. I just wanted to show off once to gain some reputation, but it turned into a slap in the face. Had I known this would happen, I would have preferred to be overshadowed by Lim Yum Wong. At least that would be less humiliating. But who is this guy named Shui Yun anyway? A guy suddenly emerging from the mountains, making me lose face like this is truly unbearable. While I was still pondering my fate, Sha Yun walked over, a smug smile on his face, and said, "Hey Park, next time, don't bring your calligraphy out to show off in front of me. You're not even worth comparing to someone from the deep mountains and countryside, so don't boast around here. It would be best for you to go back and study for another 2 years." But the peak of public humiliation didn't stop there. As Shi Yun spoke, he patted Park Jung-jae on the shoulder as if to comfort him. Unfortunately, he skillfully let some white powder fall onto Park Jung-jae. Of course, no one noticed in time. At first, Park Jung-jae was so angry that he couldn't even speak. You. But a few seconds later, he suddenly froze. His hand began to scratch his neck and his back, then his arms and legs, until his whole body started itching uncontrollably. Itched from the inside out, as if 1,000 ants were crawling all over him. His face turned red, his limbs clawed frantically, and he yelled, "It itches too much, it's really unbearable. What the hell did you do to me?" Shi Yun remained expressionless and said in a cold voice full of educational and provocative motivation, "Mr. Park, you need to go back and study again. You haven't finished with calligraphy, and your ability to stay calm isn't good either. Mr. Park, if you kneel down and beg, I might be moved and help you with treatment." These words were like the final blow to Park Jung-jae's pride, leaving him standing there, scratching while looking at Shi Yun with a resentful gaze, unable to maintain the noble image of a Samsung prince. He began to strip in the middle of the hall, shouting as he ran straight out of the banquet room. "Damn it, just you wait. I won't let this go. Assistant, hurry and call the doctor for me." This scene made the entire hall burst into laughter, their gazes a mix of sympathy and mockery. Even the Prince of Samsung has his days like this. It's truly the first time I've witnessed it. Immediately, the crowd applauded, looking at Shi Yun with admiration. Mr. Shi is indeed impressive. He acted swiftly and made the Samsung prince struggle like this. It's amazing, but picking a fight with the Samsung prince is a bit risky, and he definitely won't sit idly by. Another person interjected confidently, "What are you afraid of?" Now Mr. Shi Yun has the Qin family and the Y family backing him. No matter how big Samsung is, they won't be able to do anything here. Truly, heroes emerge in youth. Meanwhile, Qin Wu Xuan glared at Shi Yun, feeling frustrated. "Shi Yun, that bastard, is just scum. He's causing such a ruckus. I must expose his true colors for everyone to see." Saying that, she intended to step forward, but Chen Yuan quickly raised his hand to stop her, signaling her to hold on. "Wait, don't act impulsively." Then he replied sarcastically, "Do you think that if you rush up and say he used underhanded tactics, everyone will believe you? Do you have any evidence?" At this moment, the entire auditorium buzzed with excitement upon realizing that Lim Yong Wong had returned. Not only had he returned, but two beautiful ladies had also appeared by Lim Yong-won's side, the young lady from the Qin family and the young lady from the Yi family. Shen Yuan's presence was like a perfect painting, causing everyone in the banquet hall to be in awe. Wow, did anyone notice? Earlier during the calligraphy competition, these ladies were all missing. Oh my goodness, Lim Yong-won really knows how to make a statement. He has gathered all the most beautiful girls in the auditorium. One person nodded knowingly. That's what you call harsh reality. No matter how talented you are, you can't compare to wealth and power. Another person chimed in. That's right, Mr. Shi is quite talented, but he is still far from reaching the level of Lim Yong-won. He might never reach it in his lifetime. While everyone was chattering animatedly, Shi Yun quietly looked towards Chen Yuan. A bold, challenging thought crossed his mind. Finally, my true rival has revealed themselves. For me, the Samsung Prince Park Jung-jae is just an appetizer. The main course today, the one I truly want to embarrass, is Lim Yong-won. A national idol admired by hundreds of thousands, the idol of all Huaxia, came to see if he really was as impressive as people said. If I could defeat him in the field he is most confident in, the feeling of victory would be unimaginably satisfying. Today he must lose. Thinking of this, an indescribable excitement surged in Shi Yun's heart as if he had been waiting for this moment for a long time. But as Shi Yun approached closer, he began to scrutinize Lim Yong-won closely. First was Lim Yong-won's right hand, where Yi Han stood with great pride. Next was the left hand, where Qin Wushuang, with a figure like sunlight, was. Shi Yun's gaze suddenly darkened, and a feeling of jealousy rose within him. To have two stunning beauties like this following a worthless rich young man is such a waste of heaven's gifts. As for Miss Qin, she didn't know how to make a choice, but just wait. Soon, she would have to kneel and beg me. Despite his heart being filled with resentment, Shi Yun's face changed unpredictably. He appeared humble, stepping in front of Chen Yuan, clasping his hands and speaking in an unexpectedly friendly tone. Hello, Lim Yong-won. I have heard of you before coming down the mountain. Your reputation is indeed great, and your fans are numerous. I heard you are very skilled at Go. I wonder if today I will be fortunate enough to discuss a few games with you. In response to Shi Yun's challenge, Chen Yuan merely smirked and replied coldly, Actually, the thing I am best at is not playing Go. This remark caused Shi Yun to raise an eyebrow and tilt his head in curiosity. Oh, then what do you understand? Without hesitation, Chen Yuan delivered a ruthless retort. What I am best at is embarrassing others. As soon as he finished speaking without any warning, Chen Yuan immediately slapped Shi Yun across the face. This attack utilized 3 parts strength and was 15 times faster than an average person. No matter how quick Shi Yun's reflexes were, Chen Yuan's speed was even faster, leaving him unable to dodge and taking the blow directly to his cheek. The crowd gasped when they saw Shi Yun fly straight into the air, hit back at least 5 meters, and land on a dining table, shattering it into dozens of pieces. He was unconscious, unable to say any more words. The sound of the table breaking combined with the slap made the hall seem to freeze in time. Chen Yun looked at Shi Yun lying on the floor, nodding as if evaluating a new product. That was somewhat interesting. Reaction speed 3 times that of an average person, able to endure a slap with 3 parts of my strength and still have all his teeth intact, not a single one knocked out. This physical quality must be at least 5 times that of an ordinary person. Meanwhile, Qin Wushuang and Yi Han standing beside him had their eyes wide open, completely shocked by Chen Yuan's actions. They just invited him to play Go. He didn't need to resort to such heavy-handedness. Isn't this just making someone feel utterly hopeless? Qin Wushuang and Yi Han thought to themselves. Chen Yuan, maintaining an indifferent expression, responded logically, Don't look at me like that. Knocking him out is the fastest way to prevent him from talking nonsense. We will definitely find evidence when we examine him. While everyone was still in shock, Mr. Y's face turned purple with anger. Lim Yong-won, how can you act this way? Mr. Shi is my lifesaver. You dare to hit him, showing no respect for the Y family in the capital, right? Beside them, Y Xiaoling was both checking and shouting, This is not good, Grandpa. This guy is too brutal. Mr. Shi was knocked out by his slap. Shen Yun lay there, his mouth full of blood, his face whiter than A4 paper. It was clear that Chen Yuan had no intention of holding back. He wanted to send him to the hospital for sure. Mr. Qin struggled to suppress his anger, but his face displayed 2 words, explosive. Chen Yuan, do you think you've gone a bit too far today? I admit you are skilled and strong, but no one can live in this world forgetting all the rules. Besides, Shi Yun is not an ordinary person. He is a disciple of Master Bai Chen, who is the person I respect most in my life. If you don't give me a reasonable explanation right now, I won't be able to stand by your side any longer. The atmosphere was extremely tense, and even the people around were gossiping like a flock. Shit, is Lim Yong-won jealous? Seeing someone more talented makes him angry. Losing his composure and striking too hard? What's this? Relying on being rich, having power, and wanting to do whatever they want. Is there still justice in this world? I heard that intentionally causing serious injury can lead to a sentence of 3 to 10 years in prison. So today, Lim Yong-won seems to be more than just educating. He shows signs of criminal behavior. Someone call the police, as this kind of arrogance cannot go unpunished. The atmosphere is starting to heat up like a fire. Everyone is outraged and the tension is rising, just waiting for someone to shout, and they will rush in to catch him immediately. Qin Wushuang sees the situation is too tense and quickly jumps out. Wait, everyone, it's not like that. Everyone is misunderstanding. Grandfather Chen Yuan is not a bad person. It's that guy named Xie Yun, who is the cunning wolf in sheep's clothing. He has deceived all of you. As Qin Wushuang finishes speaking, the whole atmosphere shakes violently, and everyone feels like they've been hit by a bomb right on the head. Wai Xiling suddenly sprang up like a spring, her face flushed with anger. Who is the real villain here? Xie Yun not only saved my grandfather, but also dealt with a suspicious person from Korea. He is talented and has integrity, lives righteously, full of chivalry, and is humble and polite, always speaking softly and never hurting anyone. And what about Chen Yuan? Bullying others with his strength, his character is questionable, afraid to play go and resorts to violence. You tell me who deserves to be condemned. Qin Wushuang immediately retorted, her tone equally sharp. You little brat, your mouth is so slick, but have you ever considered another possibility? Are you sure that Xie Yun really saved your grandfather? It all might just be a play he staged himself. Then Qin Wushuang turned to Mr. Qin, her face showing injustice. Grandpa, please don't wrong Shen Yuan anymore. This person named Xie Yun is not as kind as he seems. Earlier, when I poured Coca-Cola for him, I suddenly had a terrible stomachache, the kind that made me feel like I was going to faint. At first, I thought it was just because my period was coming, so I didn't pay much attention. Who knew that later, Chen Yuan told me it was actually because Xie Yun played dirty and stuck a poison needle right in my stomach. If it hadn't been taken out in time, I could have ended up with kidney failure. Ha! Isn't that too malicious? Qin Ting and Fang frowned after hearing this, looking quite shaken. Is this true? How could this happen? Xie Yun appeared gentle and honest, hardly resembling such a wicked person, but my niece is not someone who enjoys lying either. But at that moment, Yi Han suddenly spoke up. I can be a witness. This is the poison needle that Chen Yuan just took out from Sister Wu Shuang's abdomen. I saw it with my own eyes. If anyone doesn't believe me, feel free to check. Saying this, she took out a tiny object from her sleeve and held it high for everyone to see. It was a slender, semi-transparent yellow needle.